Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Mandingo Superdome, doing another beat making video for you, called Behind the Beat. This one's called Beat-DB5476. Go ahead and play this for you, let you know what we're working with, and then I'll go ahead and break it down for you. Now I'm going to go ahead and break down the different elements that we got in the beat. I'm going to go ahead and get this looping up. The first element that I went with was actually a sub bass coming out of Massive. The bass line was actually the first part of the track that I wound up doing. And then we went ahead and I added a little higher line on top. And that's the main foundation of the bass sound. The other thing that's in there is a slap bass. And next up we got the drum tracks. Just started off with some simple hi-hats. I believe it's a 16th pattern with just a little bit of swing on it. Then a little bit of just a trip up in there periodically. And just simple snare. And then of course a roll here at the end of every 4 bars. Nothing extravagant on the kick. And then just mixed in with the bass. Once I went ahead and used some brass chords that you hear in there. Let me get those soloed out. And they're just following along with the bass line. And then I found kind of like a wah-wah guitar. That just adds a little spice and flavor in there. And it also is following along with the chords in the bass line. And here's what I did for the hook. I went ahead and played it out on the keyboard, came up with a little line. And I actually have it playing on 3 different instruments. That's the wah-wah guitar, found an accordion, and I thought it sounded okay, but I wanted a little more grit to it. And now I'm hopping over here to the audio side to show you what I did with the difference. Everything you heard previously was MIDI. Now this is the audio side. And obviously it sounds a lot better, a lot different. I'm going to show you what I did processing wise on these elements. I went ahead and soloed out the kicks here, and what I did is whenever I rendered it down, I actually wound up creating a little bit of parallel compression. That's the actual original kick. and then I simply ran it through a camel fat, whacked a little bit of compression and tweaked it a little bit, and then mixed together. it definitely kind of thickens that drum up a lot. Alright, and over here on the snares, let me get them looped up. This is the original snare, and what I did is I simply added a doubler and a little bit of reverb, and then finally a limiter and compressor. And you can tell that snare definitely snaps a lot more now. And now we have the hi-hats. Let me get them looping up. Here's the original. Nothing wrong with it, just not good enough for me. So once again, I threw a doubler on that. A little bit of reverb. And finally the limiter and compressor. Definitely adds a lot more depth. And next up, we have the brass. Here's the original. Nothing wrong with it. Went ahead and used the doubler as well. And then I went ahead and threw the PSP vintage warmer on it. Add some nice warmth to that brass. Next we have the wah-wah guitars. Got the original, sounded nice. I gave it the doubler treatment as well. It's the only thing I sprinkled on this one. Definitely. And next up here we have the strings. These are the original. It's pretty sounding strings. I left them dry on purpose. Whenever I recorded them, then I went ahead and added a little bit of reverb. And then they also got the doubler treatment. And then finally hit it with the vintage warmer. I think on this one it's a very noticeable improvement of how much more rich and full the strings sound. And then for the hook, we have the leads here going, the originals. Where we have the accordion, and we have the two synths, but actually the accordion and the synth. And there's wah-wah that's also playing there as well. I'll turn that on. I'd already shown you the processing on that. And we hit both of those with a doubler and a warmer. Just kind of thickens, widens it out. And it just adds a lot more depth to it. And finally, the last thing we have is just the two little plugins we got going on the master channel. This is just simply a sidechain compressor. But the only thing I did was just add a little bit of bass boost down in the lower end. Here's it without. And that's with the sidechain compressor on. Just evened everything out. Finally, last but not least, is the limiter, just to bring the levels back up. And the one last thing I want to touch on, I know I do it in just about all my tracks. I don't know if I've explained it before, but I'll go ahead and do it now. On just about anything that's a stereo track, what I do is, you know, when I do it in MIDI, it's just a single track, and what I'll do is I'll copy each track, and then what I do is essentially I'll assign it a space within the mix that, you know, one will be like right 50 and a left 50. I'll put another one at right 45, left 45, put something at 25, and pretty much space the instruments out across the mix. Pretty much that's all for today. I'm going to go ahead and let this beat play. You can reach me at Mandingo Superdome at gmail.com if you want to get a hold of me, questions, etc., etc. All right, go ahead and let this play, and I'll see y'all next time.